matter the capital, small as it is, this person actually would need the services of this cargo consolidator. Why? Because the trader or this person willing to do that importation may not have capacity to manage the freight or the shipping costs. Also may not have the ability to be able to hand alone that shipment in its small state through from the point of export up to where it's coming in the country of import, which is our country. So by all means, this trader will need the services of a cargo consolidator to help him or her be able to put together that cargo together with the rest of other shipments for also other similar small scale traders, and then ship it one full container so that is able to have it moved and the trader receives it from him. It also goes beyond mere getting interested to use this consolidator because you're small scale. There are other benefits that come with play when a trader actually goes in to get the service of a cargo consolidator. The efficiency levels for handling of that cargo in terms of quickly securing those goods from wherever they are bought and then brought into the country. It's a benefit which trader may not go without taking on, especially when they get conduct the service of this consolidator. But most importantly is that by all means, by and large, any trader interested in purchasing goods overseas in small quantities and cannot have them bought on their own would automatically need the service of the consolidator.
Okay, thank you so much, Amy, for that clarity. Okay, now we appreciate that in the logistics chain, if you don't have enough capital, you can consolidate your cargo in a container. Now, what if I go to China with a couple of friends of mine and we buy items which can fill a container? Do we still need services of a consolidator to ship it, or we can still go ahead and ship it? I want my brother Gregory to answer that. And what would be the benefits of using a consolidator? Because you said a consolidator is a company registered by URA and URSB. Do I necessarily have to use the consolidator, or we can as well go ahead and load our container in our own names? Then what would be the advantages of us looking for a consolidator vis-a-vis us loading the container by ourselves?
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you, Enoch, our moderator this morning, for the question. If you have the capacity to fill up a container, that is full container load, FCL, that means you don't need the services of a consolidator. You can be in a position to meet all the costs of shipment, and that is to your advantage. So in this case, you don't need the services of a consolidator. Consolidation is targeting small business people who are not capable of filling up the whole container. I want to give you an example. If you have, let's say, goods that can occupy a quarter of a container, you'll find like a 20-feet container from Dubai, wherever, it could be in a range of 2,000, at least above $2,000 US. So it would be costly for you to pay that money and bring a quarter of the container. Yes. So consolidation, one of the benefits is that it reduces the cost of doing business. Even the person who wants to bring one package will be in a position to load it. Then secondly, consolidation empowers every person, every importer, in a sense that you are you have the own full ownership of the goods you are bringing. Like the way you can have a land title, because if you are a consolidator, you are given, if you are in consolidated cargo, an importer in consolidated cargo, you are able to get a house bill, and that house bill of lading will empower you to clear goods in your own names, in your own team. You are able to appoint your own agent, so that is itself a benefit. So and it saves time. It is actually time saving, because in consolidation you are able to save money and time. That's what I can say. Basically, those are some of the benefits of consolidated cargo. Yes.
Thank you so much, Gregory. That is much appreciated and it is very clear. So you talked about the house bill of lading.
Yes.
Many are talking about documentation. So if I have my 10 packages,
Yes.
say in Dubai, and I know a consolidator X, what kind of documentation is required from me? Mary can help us answer that.
Okay, thank you, Enoch. For the documents required, we need the commercial documents. We need commercial documents, basically transactional documents, for instance, a receipt, because a receipt is an evidence of a sale. We will need the bill of lading, usually that is provided by the consolidator. We will need the packing list. We will need the invoices. Basically, all these documents are going to help us come up with a proper custom decision, and also help our importers to do business in the right way. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much. Now, how do I get to know a genuine consolidator?
Okay. A genuine consolidator, like Imi had requested. A genuine consolidator is one who is registered with the UCAA, the Uganda Cargo Association of Consolidators, UCAA. So that person, and there is a formal process of doing that. You're supposed to belong to the association, fully registered, and you comply with the laws. That means URA is in the know that you're existing. They are in the know that that consolidator is existing. Then for me to also know a genuine consolidator, I should not just walk onto the streets randomly. This person should have an established business premise. They should be credible, because word of mouth moves. So when I hear that Simbaland will bring in my cargo, I will want to hear from other people who have brought in goods via that consolidator. How is it when I ship with Simbaland? How is it when I ship with Maria's Cargo? How is it when I ship with Gulf? How is it when I ship with Zip Cargo? So for me to know all that, and customs is open. We are open-minded. Usually some of our clients who we interface with in the bonds will come around. Through the interactions, we can give advice. And through such platforms like the webinar. Yes.
Okay, thank you so much, Mary, for that comment. Our viewers, you're most welcome. For those who have just tuned in, today we are on the topic of consolidated cargo or groupage cargo. So for those tuning in, feel free, if you have a question or comment, to inbox your question or comment. At the end of the session, we're going to answer and give you the detail. Please be clear as you're asking. So let us proceed. So in the meantime, I want my brother Emi to answer this question. I've appreciated the consolidator. You've given me some examples, assuming I employ services of a consolidator. And along the way, we get misunderstandings, disputes, loss of my cargo. Where do I address those challenges? Is it URA to police? How can I go about it?
Okay. Thank you, moderator. Like we've shared in details, key requirements for a company to be registered or taken on as a consolidator. Amongst the bodies that company is expected to register with is, of course, Uganda Revenue Authority, the ports, like I said, and then UCCA, that's the Uganda Cargo Consulting Association. So there are a number of means within which a client with a dispute or a complaint about their cargo can be handled. For the case of Uganda Revenue Authority, of course, we have in place platforms like the touch point, where the client can log in his or her formal concern about what's happening on their cargo. But then also there are other platforms you can use, like those who know where our offices are. Uganda Revenue Authority, you can walk in and you seek for an advice or how you can have your issue addressed. And then for the UCCA, that's the Uganda Cargo Consolidated Association. Equally, they also handle disputes, especially where maybe the trader got manipulated by a fraudster or individual who conned them and claimed that is a consolidator to handle their goods, and then along the way is not. So in the event that such a person is identified to be a fraudster and the UCCA can actually ably identify, they also quickly come in to support the trader in guiding them on how that matter is. But on the practical part, where we're in the field, along the different bonded warehouses, in our offices, where we do the physical handling of this cargo when it has arrived. So equally, a trader is free actually to walk in to us, and then he raises his or her concern about how cargo is handled, and then we ably engage in the respective consolidator agents or representatives to have the matter amicably solved. So basically, the mechanisms in place or platforms available are that besides the online ones, we also have physically mechanisms of addressing those issues when these clients walk to us. And we encourage them to actually make time walk to us. We are there to support them at all times of our operations.
Thank you so much, Amy, for that clarity. Maybe a word of caution for the sake of our trader there. You are encouraged to keep all your records to the dot. Because if you come through to complain to anybody, whether you are or the association of the consolidators, the first question is the documentation. Because if you come to URA, you'll find thousands of containers. So how then can URA know where your goods are, which consolidator handled? So request you to keep all your records in case of any dispute, and you seek redress, you present the paperwork, and any of the listed authorities helps you out. Thank you, Amy, for that feedback. My brother Gregory, we've talked about this consolidation and all that. I appreciate it doesn't come for free. At what cost does a trader has to incur? So in other words, what are the clearance fees? What are the charges? What should be my expectation as a trader if I go to the consolidator in terms of my pocket?
Thank you, Mr. Moderator. The expectations begin with you understanding the kind of company you are dealing with, the consolidator you are dealing with. Does this consolidator have an office at the origin of this? Does this consolidator have an office here in Uganda? Yeah, so those are some of the key issues you need to consider. We are open. There are many. It's not one person that is going to say that he is going to charge you, let's say, 1 million for a package, and in your opinion it is very high. There are quite a number of them, so you are free to approach the different consolidators, have their rate cards, look at the benefits, and be able to make an informed decision. So the cost will vary from consolidator to consolidator, and they want to compete. I believe most of them don't charge exorbitantly because they must compete. This is a business. If they charge you highly, then you will move to another person, and that company will lose business. So in terms of cost, it will vary from consolidator to consolidator. But the balancing equation is that they all want business from the business community.
Okay. Thank you. Those I want to ask. I appreciate that payment. There is a tax component and a freight fee.
Yes.
Is it the trader who pays the tax in their tin, or they give all the money to the consolidator? A trader out there may want to appreciate how to go about that.
Like I said at the beginning, consolidated cargo clearance empowers the owner of the goods. Yeah, that's why I brought in the issue of the House Bill of Lading. It empowers, it acts as a title of ownership of those goods. Yeah, so once goods have been, once an importer has been issued with the House Bill of Lading, and there has been a transfer of ownership, I think at some stage we shall take you through the process of the whole process of clearance, then it empowers the trader. The trader will have now the powers to appoint a licensed clearing agent to clear those goods. And we always advise people that when an assessment is raised, a URA assessment is raised, you pay to the bank yourself as an importer. So that one itself empowers the trader. So taxes are paid by the trader.
The trader.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Gregory. So, Mary, I've heard in the corridors people complaining of being conned. Someone can pose as a consolidator, besides the legal dynamics explained by Amy. As a layman, a trader down in Chikubo, how can you know? How can you avoid being conned by a fraudulent consolidator?
Okay, thank you so much, Enoch. Like I earlier said, credibility. Credibility comes in. And another thing, you should not just walk on. Goods, we appreciate one thing, importing is a rigorous process. It is something that should come as a joy. It's not something that should come as a pain. So we advise our importers to always look out. Do not deal with somebody just online. Look out. Do these people have a physical address? At the end of the day, Miro, you are employed by URA. That means you are premised to URA. It's not just about somebody will not just meet you on the way without actually referring to your work point. So there should be a physical address. And then at the end of the day, usually when we walk into these offices, there are registration certificates. Is there proof that this person is actually licensed to do these operations? Are they registered with USIFA? Are they registered? Is URA in the know that they're actually there? Because we appreciate the conmen out there, people out there to try and put ends meet together. But then at the end of the day, you should, since this is a business decision requires attention, you should look out. Make sure that this person is actually licensed to do this work. Like what we had earlier said, do they belong to this association, the cargo consolidators, fraternity, as do they have a sense of belonging? The credibility is word out there about them, because something good will always Be publicized. At the end of the day, you will know when I get a good service from you, I'll definitely whisper to somebody else. So if I had a good experience, so for instance, with Rapid, I will definitely tell you, because it is all about networking. So at the end of the day, if it is a business decision as a small scale trader or a middle scale trader that you want to take on, you should invest in some of those opportunities. So make sure that this person is actually registered with that, with the Cargo Consolidators Association. And then at the end of the day, that URA is in the know, Ministry of Works, some of those, the URSB, because at least I know when you're in importing, you know these some of these licensing bodies, because for a trader to work, for an importer to work, then you are registered. URSB is in the know that you are existing. So you should also interest yourself and know that the person I'm dealing with, are they actually in line with these agencies? Because in case of anything, then these agencies will bring them to book. Yes, and then credibility always comes out. So I believe our importers should invest. That's a business decision that they should own up and really take charge of. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Mary. Actually, I think that also answers the question of someone would be asking, do these consolidators also buy cargo on behalf of the importer? I think that question, that your response answers that question.
Okay.
That depends on how credible you think they are, your relationship and your business. Thank you, Mary, and the panelists for that session. Now I want to dive into another session of now appreciating what the consolidator actually does and how the business of consolidation is done. So I want to start with Amy right here. And I want to appreciate, what does the consolidator do? What is the process, and how is it done? So, Bwana Amy, what are the common categories of these cargo consolidators? The question is like, if I send my small package through post office or DHL, is DHL a consolidator? She talked of Maria Cargo, is she a consolidator? I give an example, me and a group of my friends will go and load a container. Are we now consolidators? That is the angle I'm coming from. Okay. So what are the common types or categories of these consolidators?
Okay, thank you so much, Enoch. Like I shared, from the first point of the legal registration or licensing authorization of a freight forwarding company to be regarded as a cargo consolidator, there are around three categories in most cases for these cargo consolidators. Now we have those that are licensed to handle movement or shipments of personal effects, whereby along overseas, China, Dubai, or USA, there individual persons who gather together the personal effects alone used, okay, and then from different people ship it together, and then they bring. I'll give an example, like you have Salabed. Those are an example of cargo consolidators who majorly do importation or consolidation of used personal effects or household items. And then we have also another category of general goods or mixed goods that are new. Like you mentioned an example of Simbaland or Maria's Cargo or Rapid Shipping. Now those are consolidators that are registered and they deal in shipments or consolidation of cargo, especially for new items, for mixed goods, for different traders, is consolidated from different locations. And then we have those that deal in handling of parcels. Now, those, like an example, you talked of DHL. That's an example of a consolidator who consolidates or makes importations of shipments, especially in form of parcels. Just like you see maybe FedEx, and then maybe you see our post office, post parcels, and then DAX couriers. Now, those are examples of consolidators who deal in consolidation of shipments that come in form of what? Parcels. So majorly they are around 3 categories. So to a trader, depending on the nature or the type of your goods, it's important that you look along the spectrum to identify any of these types of consolidators to best suit the handling or the shipment of your what small carbon that comes in. So basically they're around 3. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Amy. So I think that is very clear for clients. Depending on your need, you know where to go and where to approach. Now I want to invite Mary and Gregory to explain to us the process of consolidating. Mary, you're going to take us through the process of consolidating. And then thereafter, I'll welcome Gregory to take us through the customs procedure of consolidated cargo once it has reached customs. So Mary, you're taking us through the process from the supplier, Dubai, China. Then once we receive it in customs, Gregory will come in and explain to us what is the process.
Okay. All right. For the consolidation, like we said, we expect the consolidator to have presence in both the export country and then the import country. For instance, you must have presence. I will want to reference to, okay, like let me premise on one particular area. So for instance, Dubai. I have bought goods. I should ensure that those goods reach the premises, the store, the warehouse of that consolidator. So for instance, allow me pick a case in point like Simbaland. Okay, those are some of the consolidators we usually deal with at the bond.
It's okay.
So for instance, Simbaland. Simbaland should be having presence in Dubai. So I will buy my goods and then take them. Either me or my supplier will take them to the warehouse. So when the goods are received in the warehouse, the warehousing facilities of Simbaland, the consolidator has to acknowledge that they have received these goods. That means there is mutual agreement. There is mutual understanding. It's not a one-man's show. So when the consolidator agrees that they have received a package of Imi and Gregory, then those goods are weighed. They are weighed, they are marked. At that point when they are weighed and marked, it's then the consolidation will now
Take
take place. Like
at the
put
export
to
country,
at the
in the
export
warehouse,
country.
at the export
Yes.
country.
Yes. So it is now the owners of the consolidator. They're going to organize that vessel, like the container, and then make sure that Mary, who bought goods X, Amy, who bought goods Y, and Gregory, who bought goods this, that are filling this container, have their goods input into this container, and then they will facilitate the what? They will facilitate now the movement of those goods through the vessel to the port. The consolidator will now still bear that responsibility of coming up, documenting whatever came up. Because I told you they received the documents, they received everything from the importer. Yes, from the, yes. So when they reach the port, they are the ones supposed to come up with that first customs declaration. Because they are now informing customs that this is what we have. The goods at that point, according to us, are under the consolidator.
So the consignee, the owner of the goods at that point is the consolidator.
The consolidator.
Thank you.
The master bill of lading will be bearing the consolidator name. Say, for instance, Simbaland. So the documents at the first point of entry, that I mean that at the port will now be captured to enable transit to the final customs, the final country of destination, that is Uganda in this point, to enable custom clearance. So basically, the importer will not now really be in line at that point. The small scale trader, the consolidator is now the face. So it is Simbaland we are seeing, though we know that Gregory, Emmy, Mary, and Miro are in this container, but it is the actual face with customs now is Simbaland. So when goods now move, it is at that point that now I think I would have to invite Gregory, because they will move and they'll move. They have to capture. They'll have to come to the bond, a licensed, a licensed bonded warehouse. Yeah. So for instance, Good Brothers, and then it's at that point that now the other custom procedures will now take place.
Okay, thank you, Mary. Before Gregory comes in, which document, for example, Tom has cargo in that consolidated container?
Yes.
Is there any documentation which shows that at least I have 5 packages in that container?
Like I have said, the consolidator,
especially on the bill of lading.
Yes, usually there is a master bill of lading, but when deconsolidation happens, we come up with the house bill of lading. That is now what we issue out. That is what the consolidator will issue to you to indicate. On the master bill of lading,
our names are there.
Yes, your names are there, indicating packages, yes, Peter. Because all those details have to be captured. So they will indicate that Mary had 5 cartons, so that we avoid conflicts. Bill. Yes, they'll also indicate the weight, the CBM that you're occupying within that consignment. Yes.
So as a small trader, am I privy to have a copy of that master bill? The question I tabled earlier of in case of a dispute.
Yes.
And I told the traders that it's important to have your paperwork.
Sure.
So at that point, we've appreciated the small scale trader is nowhere, is not the owner, beside the name appearing.
Sure.
So cargo disappears after Mombasa. What documentation can they present to customs to complain against the consolidator?
Like I have said, we agreed earlier on, we are dealing with licensed, regulated farms. We are not going to deal with anyone on the street. So I believe very well your custom documents, your commercial documents, you'll still have a copy of them, and then you'll also still have access to the bill of lading, because usually the small scale traders, the importers, our clients here, are usually informed. You will still know that this consignment has reached in Mombasa. You are in the know. Like why I brought up that example to customs, that is what we are saying. But there are background things. So you are still in the know that your cargo is moving in this particular manner. So it is not like you're wiped out completely out of the scene. No, you are present, but then, like when you look at the documentation, like the master bill of lading, we cannot have the consignee master bill of lading having Mary, having Gregory, having Emmy. It is unified as maybe Simbaland or Safe Cargo or something like that.
Okay, thank you so much, Mary, for that clarity. So for our trader, small trader, I appreciate or understand that these consolidators keep on updating you every step of the way.
Sure.
That now the container is on ship, the container is in Mombasa.
Yes.
It is very important you keep asking for all the details and dates you're communicated.
Yes.
As for the container number, as for the document number, so that in case of anything, those are the documents on top of your invoice and packing list.
Sure.
Those are the documents you present to customs in case of
Sure.
a complaint. Once again, we thank you, our viewers. We're welcoming your questions. We've received a few questions online. We are going to answer them in a short while. But for now, I want to welcome my colleague Gregory to take us through the customs process. Now that the container has reached an ICD, Liberty, what are the customs procedures that are followed?
Thank you, moderator, for that question. To explain that, I want to begin from the quote actually.
Okay.
When documents are generated by the consolidator at the port, and eventually a transit document that moves the goods to the destination, which is here in Kampala, in the port to the bonded warehouse. At the point of generating a T1, a transit document or a T1, there is a gate pass is created. Our viewers may have heard of BWIMS, Bonded Warehouse Information Management System, a system that was put in place to promote accountability of stock in bonded warehouses. So when a gate pass is created at the port, when goods arrive in the bonded warehouse, the bond operator is empowered to own up, to be the first point of contact in as far as receiving goods is concerned for accountability purposes. So the the bond operator receives that gate pass in the system, and that will allow the officer at the barrier to validate the entry, to confirm that actually goods have reached. So once that validation has been done, there is auto conversion. The T1 is auto converted into a warehousing entry. Yeah, that warehousing entry verified. The operator will be it will be verified, and then after verification, the process of releasing that entry takes place by DPC. I believe the viewers have heard of DPC, Document Processing Center. And once that entry is released, then the process of deconsolidation now starts. Yeah, the process of deconsolidation starts. Because at warehousing, the goods are in the names of the consolidator. The goods are the warehousing entry is released in the names of the consolidator. Remember, with that master bill of lading which Mary has just been explaining. And once the entry has been released, then the consolidation starts. That is when each and every person, that importer, person or company that is reflected on the master bill of lading, is going to now get the goods. The transfer of ownership will now take place by the consolidator. And the consolidator will issue the house bill of lading to each and every person, bearing the number of packages, the description of the items, and the quantity. So that is the house bill of lading that will now empower the importer, the individual importer, to make a declaration, to be able to appoint a clearing agent, and then pay for the goods, and the goods are released. That is what I can explain.
Okay, thank you so much, Gregory, for that detailed explanation. But just a small follow-up. You talked about verification.
Yeah.
Do all of us, the traders, assuming we are 30 in the container, are we supposed to be present at the point of verification?
Yes, we encourage the bond operator to be present, to be represented. We encourage the individual importers to be represented. We encourage the clearing agent for the consolidator must be there. Yes, at that stage, because it is important that you are all there. Because if we find, for example, there is deviation from the expected quantity at the point of verification, someone must own up. Yes.
Okay, thank you for that clarity. And then you talked about deconsolidation.
Yes.
I appreciate that process is a technical term. Maybe you break it a little bit in a simpler English. But another follow-up question, I understand that comes at a cost, at a fee, which is called transfer fees. Okay, is it true there is a fee for the consolidation? And if it is, how much is the fee?
Thank you very much, moderator. Yes, transfer fees. There is a cost. There is a cost, but it's a very small cost. I think it's about $10.
Okay.
Yes.
And the consolidation, can you put it in layman's?
Okay, the consolidation. First of all, we start with consolidation. The consolidation is the opposite of consolidation. So you are putting together at consolidation, you are putting all packages of belonging to different people together. Then when it comes to the consolidation, you are now separating, giving Enoch his own packages, Amy his own packages, Gregory his own packages, Mary her own packages, and all the other people that are in the container. So that's what we call the consolidation. Yes.
Okay, thank you. Still a follow-up on the clearance process. Is the consolidator the same as clearing agent? That is one question. Then two, if I'm given my house bill of lading and I don't have a clearing agent, can the consolidator clear them on my behalf, assuming in part A, the answer is yes? And if no, how can I be helped? Because I'm a small trader. I see the clearing agents are very big, Borore, Spedag. How can I go about it? First question, is the consolidator clearing agent? Second question, if I don't have a clearing agent, can the consolidator clear on my behalf? And thirdly, how can I get an agent to clear my goods?
Thank you. There are some consolidators who are at the same time clearing agents. So in that case, they can be in a position to assist in the final clearance. After the consolidation, they can still go ahead and clear your goods. But if you have consented, but you have a right to appoint any other agent.
Okay.
And customs licenses quite a number of clearing agents, very many, in hundreds of companies to do clearance. And in case you want to find out, you can always approach any customs office for guidance. Yes.
Thank you so much, Gregory, for that. Our viewers, we invite more questions in case any bit is not clear. So our time is well spent. Let us dig into the final session of the consolidator again, because I said it's a business opportunity. What if someone out there wishes to become a consolidator themselves? Amy, what are the requirements of becoming a consolidator? Or what does it take for me to become a consolidator?
Okay, thank you, moderator. Like I stated earlier on, it's important that one fulfills all the requirements. To start with, is that you must be a registered, licensed freight forwarding company. And the organizations where you're supposed to register with, like I mentioned, URSB, URA, of course, with the Ministry of Transport and Works. There is also the UCCA. It's important you must be fully registered with them. But then also you must be fully recognized or licensed at the international stage. That's the other export countries where you are operating from. And it goes hand in hand that you should be able to have enough storage capacity in form of warehouses in those places whereby you will do the consolidation of cargo, like my colleague Mary explained. When these different clients or traders bring their goods, you should have that space or that warehouse where you actually do the consolidation of this cargo. So it's important, that's one of the requirements one has to work on and ensure has it. And then also you should have trained personnel, okay, who should be able to work from the consolidation places at the time where you are consolidating this cargo before it is shipped to come in, but also within here internally in the country, you should be having also a trained manpower knowledgeable with the customs processes of clearance, like how Gregory explained, so that they support effectively the process of clearance to reduce delays or avoid any disturbances. But they also act actually as contact persons in guiding these traders, in advising them, in availing them with information, especially those who may not fully make physical contact or presence to where the offices are. So it's important that trained manpower by this freight forwarding company is in place. And lastly, you should have been automated in terms of your tax identification number and operations within. Because like Gregory explained, when it comes to preparing that transit document from the port, we require you to use your tax identification number so that you prepare the customs document in your name with those shipments. The fact that along the way they come when they are all processed in your names, both on the master bill and all the other documentations that you have prepared, especially the master packing lists, because you also prepare it after you have gotten the different packing lists from the different traders. So it's important that you actually also be registered within our system so that you are able to do the work effectively, but also for transparency purposes, it is very, very important. Yeah. Basically, those are the key requirements for one to be registered or licensed as a cargo consolidator. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much, Amy. The list is quite lengthy, but I think as long as anyone meets those requirements, you are at liberty to start your business as a cargo consolidator. Thank you, Amy. Mary, you talked about an association of cargo consolidators. I think it's called Uganda Cargo Consolidators Association.
Yes.
Please enlighten us on some of its roles. What are the roles of that association? If I'm to join the business, meaning automatically I have to subscribe to the association. What are the roles of that association? And where is it found? Where is it located?
Sure. The Uganda Cargo Consolidators Association. Its main role, like we said, they are trying to demystify the pains and come up with formulated with procedures and policies that guide clear consolidation. So these are this group of individuals looks out for its association members. They address issues of conflict. They address issues of conflict that might arise, and then in case there are unethical behavior or practices within its individuals, because since they have a guideline, there is a constitution in place, they are able to bring to book the culprits. So basically, they maintain sanity within the cargo consolidation fraternity. Yes.
Okay, thank you so much, Mary. Thank you so much. So say about the association. Do they have any mechanism to get the fraudsters or pretenders as consolidators?
Yes. There is still whistleblowing, but then like we also talked about the presence. These people are available. You'll find the established offices, and then they also maintain that very presence within the areas of operation. Say for instance, the bonds. You'll find them available, you find the agents there. So in case there is rumor or they believe that maybe one of their members is going off the road, they bring such people to book. Yes.
Okay. Thank you so much, panelists. Looking at our time is up according to the producers here, but we're going to go into the comment section a little bit. We have something from Thomas Busisa. Thomas Busisa said, thank you for the insightful presentation. Miss Awolko Emi and team. That's just a comment. Then another question, Moderator Miro. I would like to ask on whether consolidation is happening as well for the case of exports. Mr. Gregory, can you please come in on that? Does consolidation happen also on exports?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Busisa. Yes, consolidation also happens for exports, but this will be determined by the policy of the destination country, and I believe most of the countries are compliant with that. So consolidation is indeed also applies on the exports. Yes.
Thank you so much, Gregory. Another comment from Sandra Letio. Sandra says this information came in a little late after we were cheated by a company pretending to be consolidators. I realized some more numbers to call. Sandra, your question is not very clear. I realized some more numbers to call. Maybe I can think of, you want to know where you can find these consolidators? I can welcome Brother Amy to answer this question. This trader, Sandra, is wondering where can she find the genuine consolidators?
Okay, like my colleague Mary explained, the different ways one can tell a genuine and non-genuine trader. From the requirements which we have shared, it's important before you go in to entrust your goods be handled by this so-called person who is before you as a consumer. It's important that you do background check. Establish whether this person has the physical address. Do they have physical offices into the country where the goods are coming? Do they have, are they registered, okay, with the bodies like I mentioned? Also, by the time you give them your goods, to be able to consolidate them from whether China or Dubai, do they have a licensed or well addressed warehouses whereby you should be able to reach out and raise your complaint so that it follows up. So apparently it's important as a trader, we encourage them to always first look out, establish those key details of determining a genuine consolidator. Leave alone dealing with individual persons. No, they shouldn't. They shouldn't. It should be a company. Ask for information. If it's you're saying you're a consolidator, where is your address? Where is your TIN? Where is your license? And then even when you are very with those information, step back and do another check to inquire from other bodies, or ask any other persons or traders, or whether it's indeed genuine or not. So, but for this case, well, like she said, she was conned. So unfortunate, sorry about that, but I would guide and advise that maybe in that case, the first point to start with, maybe you may need police. Come with the police, depending on where your location is, you report your matter. Being conned, then police will help you to dig deeper to establish the details of those people who routed you. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Amy, for that response. Finally, Thomas Busisa is back. Again, is asking, is UCCA statutory? What is its legal identity? I thank you. Mary, you can try to tackle that.
Is UCAA? Is UCCA statutory? It would still push us to one, or I would also want to bounce back. Is consolidation legitimate? Because, like we said, the UCCA is going to bringing sanity within this practice of cargo consolidation. So definitely it is statutory. It is statutory.
Okay.
Yes.
Just like other associations. Yes. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the end of our webinar, Customs 101. clearance of consolidated cargo. In my closing remarks, I want to encourage any trader out there, small scale especially, don't shy away from importing out of the country, any country. Consolidators in place. The window was put there by customs. You can always consolidate your cargo irrespective of the capital you have. You don't have to raise hundreds of millions, an amount you can import. For more information, you can contact us online via the touchpoint. It is touchpoint.ura.go.ug, or you can walk in any customs office or any URA office for more inquiries and questions. You can also visit our portal for more information about consolidation. I would like to thank my panelists. Thank you so much for sharing knowledge. I'm sure some trader out there has been helped, or even a trader or a customs officer. Thank you so much. And to our viewers, we appreciate you. Thank you for spending time to listen, to tune in. Until we meet again, may God bless you for God and my country.